following is not entirely true. It is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Hey, so Tim Walz called me the other day, and he was concerned about the upcoming debate. He said, Brother Rhodes, what do you think here? You know, and I told him, you know, I started off with some positives, you know, let him know that it's pretty miraculous what he and Kamala have been able to do. You know, that wave of momentum, it was instant and it was phenomenal, and it's, you know, it's had some legs. You know, the massive drop didn't happen after 2-3 days. I mean, the honeymoon went pretty far. So I wanted to congratulate him on the fact that they didn't mess it up, played to their strengths, you know. And that led me to how I, you know, chose to help him in this situation. Don't mess it up. Play to your strength. Strengths with a, you know, plural, right? With an S. You're a happy warrior. You can kick your right leg up. You can build the emotion. There's a certain segment of the populace that likes you, and they're giving you a pass because they like you and because they don't want the other guy. But it's not really because of you and your policies, or they really believe that you should be a breath away, God forbid, from the presidency. That's not the issue. It's not that they see you and they want you as the president. They don't. And, you know, by me starting off with the positives, you know, he listened. He gave a little pushback, though. He says, hey, you know, I have debated before, and, you know, as governor, and I've done some press conferences, you know, not of late, but before, you know, we were doing them and things like that. You know, we had some situations in Minnesota, and I gave him his due. But that's not what this is. JD Vance is not that guy. He's that guy. He's going to tear you apart with the English language. Period. He is going to frame his arguments with logic, reason, eloquence, and confidence. You cannot compete with that. Period. And so, you know, I had to just tell him that, you know, if you want to not sink the ship, if you want to keep the honeymoon going, then there are a couple of things that we have to understand, and then a couple of strategies that we have to maintain. The understanding is we're subpar compared to JD Vance. Brother Vance will go circles around us, and that's going to happen. Okay, that's an understanding. It's going to happen. We're not going to be able to smile our way through this. Okay, we're not going to be able to kick up our right leg through this. And you know, the kicking of the right leg, you know, I know that it was kind of pushing some buttons because it stood out every time I said it to him, but there's a reason for it. That's honeymoon stuff. That's emotional stuff. And I'm trying to get him in an emotional state to show him that, see how you get, that's what's going to happen here. You're not just, that's the same thing that happened to Kamala. And we, you know, gave the advice, and people, they still don't understand what happened there. But we told you before that debate, all that smiling stuff that she was doing around the country, that's not how it was going to come off. People just wanted to see the anger. They wanted to see somebody give it to Brother Trump. You know, somebody get him. And that was it. But see, that's another spirit. That's another side coming out of people. So you have to go check that out to see how I framed all of that. It's on our channel. But as far as the conversation with Walz, it's so similar. It's so similar. JD Vance is going to put it to you in such a way that you're not going to be able to be the happy warrior. You're going to look silly. So you're going to have to be more stern. And what happens then? People are going to be waiting for a response. And what happens then? Since you can't compete, you cannot articulate to that degree. So here's our strategy. Here's our strategy. Are you in? You got to run. You got to run, Tim. Tim, you got to run. You got to duck and hide. You have to misdirect. You have to deflect. You cannot destroy the honeymoon. You cannot be exposed. So you just have to allow the people that love you, the people that like you, the people that just don't want Brother Trump, you have to give them a way out of this thing. But it can't be mano a mano. It can't be, he said this tit for tat, I said that, and the people were cheering for me because I was throwing the punches right back at him. That will sink the ship. You can't do that, bro. I said, Tim, it's real simple. Once JD gets rolling, once he starts pumping, you got to run for the hills, and it's got to sound something like this. You see all those fancy words that the elite, see all those fancy words, you see? But the American public, we talk to them in a way they can understand. So do you see, America? Do you see? This is the elite talking. The same way they give tax breaks to the big corporations. We deal with you. We deal with the middle class. We're here for you. Kamala and I speak your language. That's the theme, Tim. You have to misdirect. You have to deflect his intellect and make it as if, even though you are the school teacher, you're the school teacher. And you have to make it as if, man, these people that have been to college with these fancy words, that's not what the middle class needs, right? Even though that's what you've been advocating for, building up your students to go to college and to be a JD Vance, right? Even though that's actually what you should be praising, even though your wife apparently teaches English. I mean, even though, the same way you misdirected with the claims you made about your service and the rank or carrying certain things, etc., the same way you dodged and dipped, hey, you got to do it again. The crazy thing is, words do matter. So this is not a bulletproof vest, because you're in a debate claiming that these fancy words shouldn't be looked at and given so much gravity, right? So much gravitas, weight, right? You're going to be in a situation where, yes, it does matter, and you're going to be claiming it shouldn't, and it doesn't. Yes, that's exactly what you're going to do. And it's not a bulletproof vest, Tim, but it gets you through it. It doesn't crash the honeymoon. And that's the goal. That's the goal. We cannot allow the honeymoon to end. So, I think he partly heard, but I wouldn't bet that he's going to be able to maintain, because I think he's going to be too nervous to maintain the shift. I think it takes an enormous amount of awareness to say, I'm getting beat right now. I mean, this is really bad. I'm getting embarrassed. This guy is actually running circles around me verbally. I need to say something right here to really, what did they tell me to say? What was my line? What was my line? I think he's gonna be too nervous to calm back down, breathe, and say, here he goes again, talking to the elite, talking to his corporate friends, instead of talking plain English to you. And this is the plain talk that Kamala and I give you. We believe in you. We want you to be great. We're here for you. They talk to themselves. They're only concerned about themselves. We make it understandable for you. You have to shift it back to that. If you don't, Brother Tim, You're going to be playing right into their hands. And not only that, you're going to be embarrassed. So you're going to sink the ship potentially, and you're going to be embarrassed. Now, brothers and sisters, I'm going to tell you, normally I wouldn't tell you these kind of conversations I have in confidence, but hopefully you entertained and educated. Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear from you. Tim, are you in, baby? Run.